The Minister, Honorable Minister in the Ministry of Livestock, Fisheries, Tanzania, who's being represented by Dr. Jovis Mkando, the Director of Fisheries and Aquaculture, Tanzania. The representatives of the Chief Executive Officer, Benis from AU-IBAR, AU-IBAR, who is still making it to this meeting. Representatives of regional economic communities present with us today. Representatives of Awfishnet and technical partners, chairperson and executive board, and national Awfishnet leaders, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. On behalf of the Director of AU-IBAR, Dr. Huyam Saleh, who could not make it for some unforeseen circumstances, I humbly extend warm regards and appreciation of AU-IBAR's to the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries, Honorable Hamus Ulege, for accepting to support women in the fisheries and aquaculture sector and organize this continental workshop to build Awfishnet's capacity in leadership skills and network on behalf of the government of the Republic of Tanzania. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, AU-IBAR is a specialized technical office of the Department of Agriculture, Blue Economy and Sustainable Environment of the African Union Commission, whose mandate is to provide leadership, coordinate and promote coherence in the implementation of Africa's continental sectoral policies on the utilization and management of Africa's animal resources to enable the sector contribute to the objectives of Agenda 2063 and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Our action in the next 3 days is a direct outcome of the Malabo Declaration on Accelerated Agricultural Growth and Transformation for Shared Prosperity and Improved Livelihoods, which African heads of state and governments committed to boosting intra-African trade in the agricultural commodities and services, ending hunger in Africa and halving poverty by the year 2063 through inclusive agricultural growth and transformation, and harnessing markets and trade opportunities, thus also tripling intra-African trade in agricultural commodities and services by improving access to markets, having current levels of post-harvest losses by the year 2025, and facilitating the preferential entry and participation for women and youth in gainful and attractive agribusiness opportunities. By 2014, Africa's fisheries sector employed an estimated 4.9 million and was the major source of fish for 200 million Africans. This is a quote and figure given by the FAO in 2014. Of these, almost 60% were in direct fishing and 32% in processing and trade. 69% of the fish processors and traders constituted women. Women are therefore key stakeholders in Africa's fish value chain and hence of the sector's sustainable development. Unfortunately, the roles of women and youth in the sector have remained unrecognized and thus undervalued due to gender-based and youth-centered bottlenecks that hinder their participation in the sector's decision-making processes. Women and youth consequently do not have equitable access to the resources and essential services needed to enable them to fully harness the economic opportunities presented by Africa's existing and emerging food fish markets. This has resulted into the loss of the development opportunities and undermined the contribution of Africa's fisheries sector to food and nutrition security, poverty eradication, equitable regional trade, and sustainable fishery resource management and utilization. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in recognition of the significant role women and youth play in not only Africa's fisheries, but entire agriculture sector, the Joint Conference of the African Ministers of Agriculture, Rural Development, Fisheries, and Aquaculture in 2014 emphasized the need for empowering women and youth and engage them in policy dialogue to address the biases affecting their participation in policy-making processes in order to create a conducive environment that strengthens their ability to sustainably harness the economic opportunities within the fisheries sector through small and medium enterprises, and also safeguard fish trade. The aspiration is enshrined in the continent's policy reform framework and strategy for fisheries and aquaculture in Africa, and the Africa Blue Economy Strategy. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, given its mandate, AU-IBAR responded to this call and facilitated the establishment of the African Women Fish Processors and Traders Network in 2017. Awfishnet has since been endorsed by the Specialized Technical Committee meeting of ministers responsible for agriculture, rural development, water, and the environment in 2019, and is therefore recognized by the highest African Union policy organ. The action to establish Awfishnet chapters is therefore in compliance with the PFRS and Africa Blue Economy Strategy that advocates the engagement of non-state actors through organized networks as a mechanism for fostering equity and inclusive growth, and by empowering the disadvantaged, especially women and youth, to participate and contribute across all levels of the decision-making and practice. This initiative on building Awfishnet's capacity to leadership skills seeks to strengthen the network's capacity in cooperative planning and strategic planning to enable its members generate one representative and cohesive voice that translates into action and leads to tangible and sustainable outcomes for Africa's women fish processors and traders. This is being done in recognition of the negative impacts of gender and youth-based bottlenecks for the sustainable management and utilization of the sector, and the sector's contribution towards equitable fish and nutrition security, wealth creation, employment, and socio-economic development. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I close, I would like to congratulate people and government of Republic of Tanzania for the commitment in promoting the Malabo Declaration's recommendation on facilitating the preferential entry and participation for women and youth in gainful and attractive agribusiness opportunities, as is evidenced by the hosting of this workshop. I thank you for your kind attention and wish you all a fruitful deliberation. Thank you.